Hey y'all, it's your girl Katie here coming at you with a great story. Today I am going to be talking to y'all about my first job. Now I have had previous job experiences in the past, but this is my first real job where you clock in and you have scheduled hours and everything. Previously I was just a babysitter for about 30 minutes after school during the summer. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I have my handy dandy notes here, so if you see me looking down, that's why. So first I am going to start with my friend, let's call her Rachel. She told me that I should apply at a daycare that she works at because she really enjoyed it there, the ladies were really nice, and she said that it paid above minimum wage. So I was like, alright, let's give it a shot. I also recommended that my best friend, let's call her Jasmine. We'll call her Jasmine. I recommended that Jasmine also apply there because she has been having a hard time at her current job. She also applies there. It's good for us because we both love kids, and Jasmine has two younger siblings, two little twin girls. They're in first grade, and it's really close to where we go to school, so we can just walk there after school and it won't be a big deal because I didn't have my license at the time. And we could also walk to where my mom works because she works at the elementary school right down the road from the high school. So we could walk there to get rides home. So yeah, it sounded perfect. I could make money, I could save up for my car, and yeah, so it sounded great. The issues started when I turned in my application. I turned in my application about 2 days before Jasmine did, and Jasmine got a call back just a couple days after she had turned it in, and I still hadn't gotten a call back. I was like, okay, I'll give it like a week or so, see if they call me back. They never called me back. I called them to see if they had lost my application, just to make sure that they had at least seen it. And when I called, she said they had not seen it, and I handed it to her. Okay, I don't understand how you can hand an application to somebody and then they just not see it. So then I got a call a few days later to schedule an interview. That was great. I was super excited, super nervous for my first interview. I had to stay with my mom that day because she was having in-services, and I didn't have a ride there, so my mom's friend who works at the front office was going to bring me. When I walked in, they said, "Are you Katie?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "We lost your application. You're gonna have to fill out a new one." So she handed me an application, the same one that I had spent about 3 hours filling out previously, and made me sit down and refill out the application before I went in for the interview. So I was like, okay, alright. So obviously there are some issues with documentation and organizing in this front office. In the interview, she asked me what ages I was comfortable with. I had never really worked with infants or toddlers before, so I just said that I wasn't comfortable with the newborns, and maybe above 3 years old, around there, I was comfortable with. She said, all right, wrote it all down. This woman, on my first day of observation, stuck me in the newborn room. Because it's not like I didn't already tell her what ages I was comfortable with. Why do you want a teenager who is uncomfortable with working with newborns in the newborn room? I don't understand. Then there was a woman that worked in the newborn room, and she asked me when I was feeding a baby if I had any kids of my own. At the time, I was 16. So I said, "No ma'am, I'm only 16. She goes off on me, asking me why they had me in here when I was only 16. Why are you in here? Why is a teenager in here? I need some real help. That's what she was talking to me like, and I was like, they put me in here. It's not like I can just say no on my first day. So that was a bad first day experience. And it just gets worse from there, basically. My boss let's call her Megan. Her daughter also works there. She worked with the schoolers. They were the older group of kids, like the kindergarten through, I think, 6th, 7th graders. She's not nice. Let's call her Isabel. Let's call Megan's daughter Isabel. Isabel started off nice and everything, but then she slowly got super sketchy. One of these major rules at this daycare, like it was so severe when we were going through orientation. She told us if we are caught on our phone, she will first give us a verbal warning, and after that, we would get exterminated, and we might not be able to work in daycare anymore. So I was like, okay, not going to be on my phone, it's not worth it. But Isabel was always on her phone, constantly. And I was like, just because your mother works here does not mean that you get special treatment like that. That's not the way things work. You're working here, you're earning a salary. Your mom is your boss. When you're at work, she's your boss. She's not your friend, okay? Megan did nothing about this. I'm sure that Isabel was caught plenty of times, but she was never reprimanded or talked to about it. The first major thing that happened to me was just a couple weeks into the job. This woman was on her phone in the cafeteria. I was called out to do something, and then I came back. I had to wash like dishes. This woman was still on her phone while we were supposed to be watching a bunch of kids, but I was obviously doing something else that the office had asked me to do. And this woman was still on her phone. She apparently told a child that he could go look through the window to see his sister, and this child took it as, hey, I can leave the room to go see my sister. I didn't realize because my back was to the door because I was doing dishes. He just walked out. And a few minutes later, one of the office ladies walked in with him and asked why he was out there just wandering around. And we were like, what the heck, he left? Like, I had no idea, and neither did she. And she was like, I was sweeping up popcorn. I had no idea that he had left. I'm so sorry. We, of course, got pulled into Megan's office about it. I got written up, pretty much blamed for the whole thing, of course, because Isabel was working with me. Yeah, that was the first major issue that I had. Then Isabel. I don't know why, but she formed this major dislikement of me. I honestly just don't understand to this day why she had such a big issue with me. I was told by an older woman who I love that was working with me on a certain day, because after the incident when the kid walked out, I was pulled out of the schoolers from request by Isabel, obviously. From then on out, I was working with the toddlers, the age group that I didn't want to work with. So this nice old lady told me that Isabel was walking around classroom to classroom with a notepad asking teachers if they had problems with me. You know, why don't you mind your own dang business? You're obviously trying to get me fired, and if you cared that much about a teenager, then you've got some issues, girl. You're freaking 23 worrying about a 16-year-old. What's your problem? And apparently one woman told her that I said I wasn't paid enough to do the diapers. What? I had never once said that I was not paid enough to do diapers. I don't know why she said that, because this job is important to me. At this point, I had a car note to pay for, and I needed this job. She was doing everything that she could to get me fired. I don't understand. The last straw for me, I quit a month after this incident. I was walking out of the kitchen after I did dishes for one of the nurseries. My hands were full, and this door is not one that just slides shut quietly and easily. This door, you have to pull on it to get it to shut, and I couldn't pull on it with my full hands. So I kind of just kicked it shut. I was walking back to the main building to bring the dishes back to the nursery, and this woman, Isabel, she runs out of the kitchen, screams at me, "Don't you dare slam this door again! Why are you slamming this door? What's your issue?" And I was like, what? This woman is yelling at me, her coworker. In that building, I am her equal, and she is yelling at me. Why? I have no freaking clue. She hates me for some unknown reason, and I am sick of it at this point. I just am done. I forgot to tell you guys, but she was stupid enough to talk to my best friend, Jasmine, about me. She was talking about me to my best friend and then asked her to not tell me. What? How dumb can you honestly be? Like, I don't get it. I do not get it. After the slamming door incident, I walked back into the nursery, and I am not the kind of girl that likes confrontations. I am very shy. I just kind of sat against the wall and put my knees up to my chest and started like crying like silent tears. Like I was hoping that the woman that was with me would not notice me crying because I find it embarrassing. I bet you guys have cried a couple times and you just couldn't hold back the tears because you're so done and you just want things to just stop, you know? I felt like I was getting bullied by this 23-year-old and I couldn't do anything about it. I finally decided to talk to the front office about it. They set up a meeting with Megan. Isabel and I were pulled in to talk with Megan. I was reassured that just because Isabel was Megan's daughter didn't mean that I couldn't come to Megan for anything if there were some issues. I was like, okay. She made Isabel apologize, and it wasn't like an I'm sorry for yelling at you, like I feel really bad about it. It was like, keep in mind she's 23 years old. She goes, I'm sorry for yelling at you. You're 23 years old and you're being that petty.
E to the T-T-Y.
Like, how are you going to survive when your mom decides that you're not gonna work there anymore and you need to go get yourself a real job? Like, honestly, I don't understand. When she gets new jobs, her mama ain't gonna be there to let her keep her job. She's gonna be done for. You can't treat people like that and then expect to keep your job. I found a job right in my neighborhood. About a month later, here I am, happy as I can be, working with two sweet little girls that I love so much. I'm just altogether so much more happy than I was working at that daycare. My sweet best friend, Jasmine, she is still working there and I feel so bad. I have a feeling she's gonna get out soon too, so. Yeah, that's about it. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!